What is going on, friends? Welcome to show number 8 of the Growth Secrets for Agile Coaches and Consultants. I need to know, can you hear me? Am I live? Is everything working right? Tell us in the chat, where are you watching from today? What's the weather like? Because this is a weird week for weather. I don't know if you noticed, but we have record breakers in both directions. We've got record-breaking highs in the southeastern part of the United States, and we've got record-breaking cold weather in the northwestern, I guess, half of the United States. So where are you watching from, and what's the weather like there today? Right now it's cold, windy, and also quite rainy up here in the Midwest, but I don't think it can decide whether it wants to be rain or snow or sleet or, whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, that's what we're working with today. I'm trying to figure out where the chat is because it's disappeared. Let's have a look here. All right. So anyway, let us know where you're watching from today and what's the weather like there. I'm gonna head over to YouTube and see if we can find this in this chat box. Also, go ahead and comment. And by the way, if you're not able to comment, there's a reason for it. We ask that you do subscribe to our channel. And of course, you got to hit that bell because it sounds so cool when you hit that bell. Um, we're planning a bunch of new content this year, and we also want to know in the comments what kind of content you would like to see from us. Cool. So I think there's a few of you on here. Are you able to see the chat? I do see we see some weather emojis popping through. So, again, if you're just joining us, where are you watching from, and what's the weather like there? Cool, cool. All right. So in this training, I want to share my intention with you. I'm going to be sharing with you how you can earn an extra 5 grand a month just by consulting on the side. Now, this will work even if you already have a full-time job. So yes, this is part-time work. And to answer a couple of questions, no, it does not require travel. It's fully 100% remote consulting. So put an R in the chat if you would love to do some remote consulting right about now. We love our 3-second commute to the home office, yeah. Does anybody actually have an external office that you're working out of? Maybe you commute a little bit, but maybe not as much as pre-pandemic, and I'm thankful for that. Yeah, a lot of us doing remote consulting now and want to stay that way because it's admittedly nice, it's cushy, it gives us more freedom. And freedom is definitely something that I intend to talk to you about today because that's exactly the reason I'm sharing this with you is that I know there's a lot of you talented agilist professionals out there with valuable skills and expertise, right? And people are willing to pay you. They're willing to pay you for that experience that you have, the expertise, the knowledge, the results. And I know that a lot of you aren't fully utilizing them to your full potential. If you're anything like me, back in the day, I used to tell myself, I have more to give than I'm currently giving. So maybe you have a full-time job and it pays the bills, but it doesn't fully allow you to leverage your skills, or maybe you want to start your own consulting business on the side, but you don't know where to start. And I know some of you might actually already have consulting businesses. So at that point, it's like, well, how do I grow this? How do I land more clients without having to be full-time for just one client? Because as agile coaches, or even as just consulting professionals, sharing our expertise and our knowledge, we can do a lot with just a sliver of time, right? I talked a couple weeks ago about my client who he had 2 clients of his own, and he was earning 10K a month per client, so 20K a month in exchange for 10 hours of work per week because he knew you can get a lot done in 10 hours a week per client. So if you stack four of those together, you're earning 500,000 a year, just consulting. So if you're working full time, all you need is one client to double your income. Everyone say like, how do I like double my income? How is that even possible? That's unheard of. Well, it's by breaking out of the mold of what we've been conditioned to do our entire careers, right? Working full time for one organization in the modern era, that's radical. It's almost bordering on ridiculous, knowing that we can accomplish so much in such little time when we have gotten results before, right? If you really think about it, if you do a time audit, I highly recommend that you do a time audit because you'll know where your time is going and you'll know that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts, right? So do a time audit. Figure out where is all this time going? How much extra time do you have? Because most of us have a couple hours extra per day that we could, all you need is 2 extra hours to land one new consulting client on top of what you're doing now, full time if you're working full time. So, whatever your situation may be, I'm here to tell you that yes, it is possible to earn an extra 5K per month consulting on the side. And that should just be month one, right? Beyond that, you can begin to scale that with the right approach and the right strategy, scaling from 5K a month to 10K a month and then 15. And I know this is going to sound incredibly ridiculous, but yes, I know coaches who are doing well over 100 grand a month. Yes, 100 grand consulting, coaching. I know one coach who's earning 250K a month, and I know another coach who's earning over 400 grand a month consulting on the side. All right? It doesn't like there's new there's new strategies in this modern era that don't require such full attention on one single client, right? So now in this training, I'll be sharing the exact steps and strategies you need to make that first 5K happen, right? And then once you hit that 5K, it makes sense to try to start scaling that to 10K a month and then 20K a month, 50K a month, right? You can't just start out of the gates with 400 grand a month, right? Actually, I think he just crossed 500 grand last month. So yeah, and there's typically four mistakes that I see here. The first one being lack of belief that it's even possible. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not real, right? Uh, Generally, an awareness of what's possible comes from understanding that other people have done it, right? I wouldn't be here in front of you today if I did not at some point become aware of what's possible and then believing that it can be done. And I know like no one wants to hear that. Like step one is believing that it's possible, but you have to believe, and you have to believe that you have the time to work on a side stream of income with consulting, um, and a willingness to surround yourself with people who've already achieved, what you want to achieve, who can support and guide you on your journey. That's why I've created a community of individuals who are committed to creating financial freedom in your lives. F in the chat if you're committed to creating financial freedom in your lives. I know some of you are nearing that. You're nearing like retirement, and what does retirement look like? And one side of you is like, I'd love to retire early, and the other side of you is like, I love what I do so much, I don't ever see myself retiring, and that's okay. What you're looking to do is give yourself options, right? If you're bringing in 200 grand a month consulting on the side, like you have options now where you're not tied to a one client 40-hour a week model of coaching. Does that make sense? So that's typically the first mistake that I see. The second mistake is not knowing who you want to serve, right? Having clarity, specificity around who your dream client truly is at a really granular level. What makes them tick? How do they think? What's their process? Where are they hanging out? That sort of thing. Like, once you know that, right? That's kind of a huge step in earning 5K a month and then growing that. Again, if you're already earning more than 5K a month, consulting on the side. Again, this 5K a month is side income month one, right? You should really be earning no less than 10K a month, 15, 50, and then we scale to 500K, right? But you have to have a clear strategy. This means knowing exactly who your ideal clients are, what services you're going to offer them, um, how to package it in a way where it resonates with them, where they're like, heck yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Where have you been hiding all my life, right? And knowing how much to charge for it, but not from a commoditized, I am an agile coach who earns what the market rate is telling me type of pricing, right? This isn't, I'm going to go to glassdoor.com and see what other people are making. It's, I'm going to learn the strategies to how to sell anyone on anything for any price. When you can sell anyone on anything for any price, that's financial freedom. I haven't seen any F's in the chat. F in the chat if you want financial freedom, because I can just end this call here now and we don't have to talk about financial freedom. I'm happy to, I've got kids having, I don't know if you can hear them, but they're having a great time. I'd love to just be with them because this is also about time freedom. Put a T in the chat if you want time freedom. Time freedom is not having to spend 40 hours a week working for the man. Yeah, I know we admire the results we get for the man, but we can get those same results with less time and we can scale that result. We can scale our results and because we know we have more to give. Put an M in the chat if you know you have more to give than you're currently giving. I get on a soapbox over here, man. You know how it goes. All right, so what are some of the other mistakes? There's two more that I can think of, right? A big one is, when you're trying to increase your income, especially if you're launching a consulting gig on the side, right? Focusing on the wrong things, right? If we break this out and we're not even talking about consulting on the side, but talking about side hustles. Put an H in the chat if you have a side hustle. What is that side hustle? Let me see it in the chat. What is your, thank you, Michael. Appreciate you, brother. What is that side hustle? Like, what are you trying to do right now to earn some money on the side? Because I see huge mistakes here. What is your side hustle? Let's hear it. Michael, do you have consulting clients already, Michael, or what does that look like for you? What are some of what are some of your other side hustles? IT audits for a public school system, okay. And what are you bringing in with those side hustles? Like how much have you hit the 5K a month in extra income? Remember, we're talking about minimum 5K extra income. Again, if you're just joining us, you subscribe to the channel in order to get access to engaging in the chat, but I want to know that way I can only customize this so much to you all, but website builds and things like that is a legit side income. That's a side hustle. But if you're not earning at least 10K per website build, what the heck are you doing with your life, right? My life, I ain't got time for that. I'm not gonna, I used to sell websites, nothing less than 10 grand, right? It should be closer to 50 grand per website build. But if you don't know how to extract that value, or you're making this other mistake, is that you're focusing on the wrong things. When I used to build websites before I knew about influence and sales and how to help clients persuade themselves, one, that you're worth your weight in gold. You know what the heck you're doing. And heck yeah, it's worth 50 grand to build a website. Before I knew any of that, I was commoditizing the website build. You want this module, you want this module, you want this module. This module's X dollars. This module's like it was a commoditized view. It wasn't value driven, right? So that's the mistake I see a lot of people making is focusing on the wrong things or just wasting time on activities that don't actually generate revenue. There's three things you could be doing: revenue generating activities, future revenue generating activities, or non revenue generating activities. 99% of people hang out here more often than anywhere else, right? You want to flip that so that you're spending majority of your time on revenue generating activities, right? Finding clients, reaching out to them, building relationships, getting them on calls and closing them on deals. And then spend as little time as you can on future generating activities, future revenue generating. Those are things like creating content, uh, excuse me, trainings if that's relevant to your niche, um, videos, websites. Like, you don't need a website to grow a consultancy. That's a huge mistake that everyone thinks that is required. No, it's not, right? So it's, when you're focusing on the wrong things and you're not focusing on revenue generating activities and you don't have a clear plan or strategy to follow, like a step-by-step approach, what does that lead to? Leads to overwhelm, it leads to burnout, it leads to frustration. That doesn't have to be the case, right? Follow a simple, proven system so that you can increase your income without sacrificing your time or energy. Another mistake that people make when trying to increase their income is that they don't take action. Well, it doesn't help when you don't have a plan to take action on, but you know, when I think about things like procrastination, right? P in the chat if you're a serial procrastinator. That used to be me. Always always waiting till the last minute to do anything, relying on that rush of, yeah, thanks, man. Like, this is an opportunity. When we get vulnerable with ourselves, it creates awareness in us that we can become our better selves. But the reason for it was lack of clarity. And we don't have to wait until the last irresponsible moment, as I say, as an agile coach, to get something done, right? It's putting a plan in place so that it's as simple as it can possibly be, but no simpler, as I believe. Was it Edison who said that, or was it Einstein? Someone with an E said that. Um, like, simplify your work. It's the, hey Troy, what's up? It's the exact same thing we do as coaches in our work. If you're coaching at the team level, I don't coach at the team level anymore. I'm coaching more at the executive level on value creation within organizations so that we're unlocking as much value as possible. But that's the concept here, is that, you know, why do we break user stories down? Well, that simplicity in the breakdown of the work drives clarity on exactly what to do. Procrastination only exists because there's lack of clarity on what to do. If you are not getting results in your side consulting, if you're not getting results in your ability to close clients at a higher rate, right? Closing one client for 10 grand a month in exchange for 10 hours a week worth of work. If you don't know how to do that, it's because you don't have clarity around exactly what to do, and more importantly, exactly what not to do that you're probably doing that's leading you to have the current results. Because your strategy that you have in place now is perfect. It's the perfect strategy for getting you where you currently are. It is not the strategy for getting you where you want to be, right? And if you're growing a consultancy, I know, for example, Tom, if you're watching, I know you're growing a consultancy. If that consultancy isn't earning at the level that you want it to, it's a case of new levels, new devils, as I say. Like, what gets us to that 5K isn't what necessarily gets us to the 10K. And what gets us to 10K a month isn't what necessarily gets us to 50K a month or 500K a month, right? every new level creates new challenges, new problems. Every solution is kind of like I use the who here has heard of a BA? Put a BA in the chat if you know when I say BA, you know what I'm referring to. Um, put a BA in the chat if you put a B put an IBA in the chat if you were a BA. Put a PO in the chat if you're about to peace out because you're like, what the heck is he talking about BA? That's right, balloon animals. Yep, I might have been one in my past life. Balloon animals. You ever see I don't want to talk about the creepy creatures that typically are seen creating balloon animals, but let's say a nice friend who is not dressed up in any particular way is creating a balloon animal for you just because he happens to have that skill, not because he likes to be creepy or anything. Well, or maybe you've blown up a balloon animal and you know that when you squeeze part of the balloon, that air shifts somewhere else and pops out somewhere unexpected. Problems are the exact same way. So, right, you reach a new level, new solutions create new problems, new challenges to solve. Every level you want to grow to is going to have new challenges that need to be unlocked. Make sense? Put an S in the chat if I'm making sense and you're still following. Cool. If you're just joining us and for some reason you were late or missed something, just hit me up in the DMs with the hashtag replay. You don't have to type the hashtag if you don't want. It's just the trendy cool thing to do, but hit me up in the with replay if you want the replay. On LinkedIn, right? Not in the chat here. Um, cool. Also, if you have questions, let's go ahead and ask questions. Troy just asked a great one here. But yeah, let's see. Did I cover all the mistakes? Yeah, I think so. Right, so what do you need? You need a simple step-by-step system that's designed to generate revenue quickly and consistently. That's the key. Like, what I teach is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? It took that coach 2 years to get to the 500K a month, right? But what are three things you need? But maybe four. We'll do a bonus round. Put a four in the chat if you want a bonus. Because Troy is asking, can you give an example of a problem you found for each level? 5,000, 10,000. Yeah, the main challenge with the 5,000 is just not taking action, not knowing, trying a bunch of stuff, right? Who here put a C in the chat if you produce a lot of content and you're like, why the heck isn't it working? Someone told me to create content and it's not working, right? The challenge there is you're not consistent. Like you need a consistent strategy. So the challenge at the $5,000 a month level is consistency. When you lack consistency, you will never get to 5 grand a month. 10 grand a month, 15, 20, that's about like the challenge there might be resonation. You might be consistent, but if you're not resonating in your message, no one's going to resonate with you and no one's going to want to join your side. Why are you here? Like watching this episode, whether it's live or on the replay? Probably because you resonated in some way, shape, or form, right? Put an R in the chat if you resonate with anything that I say on whether it's on LinkedIn or elsewhere, right? So there's four things that you need. And this is beyond the belief, right? So, yes, you need to believe it's possible. But once you believe it's possible, there are four things you need, right? You need to know one, who is it that you feel you are led to or called to serve, right? And do you know them at a deep level? How deep of a level do you know them? Right? Because you'll never resonate if you don't know them. 2, you need a problem of theirs that you can solve. Right? If you do not have a problem of theirs that you can solve, that you can help them feel, you're never going to get to this third thing. The third thing is you need an offer, right? The more irresistible that offer, because you've learned the skills that help extract that problem, that pain, gets them to your irresistible offer, an offer that they cannot say no to because it aligns and they resonate so deeply with it. So what's that fourth thing? Well, it's something that encompasses all of these things. You need traffic. You need to find where your ideal clients are hanging out so that you can communicate with them. Once you have that, and you have these three things, you have unlocked an ability and a step-by-step system designed to generate revenue quickly and consistently based on proven marketing, proven research, and proven sales strategies that have been used by successful entrepreneurs for years, but understanding that there's an evolution. What worked in sales and what's written in all those sales books isn't relevant anymore because buyers have gotten a lot more sophisticated. Your potential clients are way more sophisticated now in the information age than they ever were. So you need a whole new sales strategy, something that isn't old and busted and pressure based, right? You need a system and a way of helping clients persuade themselves that you are the right person to go with. Make sense? It's not rocket science, but if you have these three things, focus, right? Why is a laser so good? Why can a laser cut things? Because it has intense focus, right? The person building 3 houses at the same time because they're not focused is building each of those at a third of the speed, probably even less, given the overwhelm and the exhaustion and the burnout of trying to do 3 things at once. When we all know, because we're agilists, limit your whip, focus. That's what makes lasers so powerful. Commitment. If you aren't committed, you're never going to get to 5K. You're never going to get to 1K, right? You may not even get to 50. I don't know. 50, by the way, ain't hard, right, to get to. And that is absolutely a way to validate your offer or that you're going in the right direction. And then the most important thing, because you can have focus and you can have commitment, but if you're not taking the right action, then your science will not rocket your income. So this isn't rocket science, but if you want to use science to rocket your income, you still need focus, you still need commitment, and you still need a willingness to take action. And I'm happy to guide you through every step of the process from identifying your target market to creating a compelling offer to closing sales. So that's why if you're ready to start earning 5K a month consulting on the side, I do have a special invitation for you, right? So the first 3 people who go to my DMs and comment consulting in caps, I need you to internet yell the word consulting at me. I'm going to open up my calendar for the next 7 days and we're going to do a 60-minute strategy session, you and me. We're going to deep dive. I'm going to give you some homework. So if you're not someone who is willing to do homework, this isn't for you. But during this strategy session, we're going to map out the exact strategies that you need to follow to start earning an extra 5K a month consulting on the side. So with that, I'm going to leave it at that. I've got a event to run to now, but comment consulting in my DMs on LinkedIn, and we'll get the conversation going and get you on the schedule. All right, that's it. Yeah, Michael, stay focused. Cool. If you had other questions, feel free to throw them in the LinkedIn chat as well. I'm going to close this chat down, but hope you found some value out of this session, and we'll be in touch. All right.